Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have some heartbreaking news today that has left fans of the little couple stunned. Bill Klein and Dr. Jennifer Arnold, stars of the popular TLC show, were involved in a serious car accident just a few days ago. Jennifer's condition is currently critical. She's in the hospital fighting for her life. Bill, fortunately, only suffered minor injuries. But the road ahead for their family is uncertain and deeply emotional. In this video, I'll share everything we know so far about the accident, Jennifer's medical condition, and how the family, especially their children Will and Zoe, are coping during this difficult time. So, grab a coffee and let's walk through this tragic story together. For those unfamiliar, Bill and Jen became household names through their reality show The Little Couple, which aired from 2009 to 2019. Both live with skeletal dysplasia, a form of dwarfism, and built their lives while overcoming challenges with strength and positivity. Jennifer is a respected neonatologist, a doctor who specializes in caring for newborns, especially those who are premature or critically ill. She's worked at top hospitals, including Johns Hopkins All-Children's Hospital in St. Petersburg, Florida, where the family lives. Bill is a successful entrepreneur and co-owner of a pet boutique called Rocky and Maggie's, which he runs with Jen. They adopted their two children, Will from China in 2013, and Zoe from India in 2014. Both kids also have forms of dwarfism. After struggling with fertility and health issues, adoption became their path to parenthood. And through all their ups and downs, including Jen's cancer diagnosis in 2013, they've shown incredible love and resilience. Now, their strength is being tested like never before. The accident happened on Saturday, July 20th, 2025. It was a sunny day, and the family had spent the afternoon at John Chestnut Senior Park in Palm Harbor, Florida. They enjoyed a simple outing, picnicking, playing by the lake, and soaking up time together. Jen even posted a happy photo on Instagram with the caption, "Loving these summer moments with my crew." But on their way home, around 3:30 p.m., everything changed. Bill was driving their black Toyota Highlander. Jen sat in the front passenger seat, and Will and Zoe were in the back. They got onto Interstate 275, a busy highway in the Tampa Bay area. Traffic was normal for a weekend afternoon. 15 minutes into their drive, an 18-wheeler truck in the lane next to them started behaving strangely. One driver behind them said the truck seemed to drift in and out of its lane, like the driver wasn't paying attention. Another witness said it all happened in an instant. The truck suddenly veered into the Klein family's lane without warning. Bill tried to react quickly. He slammed on the brakes and swerved left to avoid the truck. But the front right side of the semi hit the SUV hard, right on the passenger side where Jennifer was sitting. The impact was massive. Witnesses described the collision as violent and terrifying. The Highlander spun out, sliding across multiple lanes before crashing into the highway median. Emergency services rushed to the scene. Jennifer was found unconscious with multiple serious injuries. She was taken by ambulance to a nearby trauma center and immediately admitted to intensive care. Her condition was listed as critical. Bill suffered minor injuries and was treated and released. Will and Zoe were shaken but reportedly had no major physical injuries thanks to their seatbelts and the car's safety features. Now, the family is facing a new reality. Jen remains hospitalized, and her condition is being closely monitored. Bill is staying by her side while trying to keep things as normal as possible for their children. Friends, fans, and the medical community have flooded social media with support, prayers, and well wishes. As we wait for more updates, one thing is clear. This family has always faced life's biggest challenges together. And they need our thoughts and strength more than ever right now. I'll continue to follow this story and keep you updated as more information becomes available. Thank you for being here, and please keep Jennifer, Bill, Will, and Zoe in your thoughts during this incredibly hard time. The airbags deployed and the car came to a stop. Its front end crumpled and the passenger side caved in. The scene was pure chaos. Smoke poured from the SUV's engine and shards of glass littered the pavement. Other drivers stopped their cars and rushed to help, dialing 911 as they ran toward the wreckage. One man, a construction worker, named Tom Rivera, later told a local news station, "I've never seen anything like it. The car was mangled and I could hear the kids crying in the back. I tried to open the driver's door, but it was jammed shut." Another witness, a nurse named Emily Carter, said, "I got to the passenger side and saw Jennifer. She wasn't moving, and there was blood everywhere. I knew it was bad." Bill was dazed but conscious, his face cut from flying glass and his chest bruised from the airbag. He unbuckled his seat belt and turned to Jennifer, who was slumped against the shattered window, unresponsive. Jen, can you hear me? He shouted, his voice trembling with panic. In the back seat, Will and Zoe were crying hysterically, scared, but physically unharmed thanks to their booster seats and seat belts. Bill tried to comfort them, saying, "It's okay. We're okay. Help is coming." Even as his own fear mounted. Within 7 minutes of the first 911 call, emergency responders arrived on the scene. Paramedics swarmed the SUV, assessing the situation with urgency. They found Bill sitting in the driver's seat, clutching Jennifer's hand, his eyes wide with shock. "Please help her," he kept repeating. The paramedics quickly realized that Jennifer's injuries were life-threatening. She had no pulse at the scene, and they began CPR immediately while extricating her from the wreckage. One paramedic, speaking anonymously to the press, later said, "The passenger side was so crushed that we had to use the jaws of life to get her out. She had obvious head trauma and we suspected internal injuries. It was a race against time." Bill and the children were carefully removed from the vehicle and Bill was loaded into an ambulance with Will and Zoe, but Jennifer's condition was too dire for a standard ambulance ride. A medical helicopter was called in, landing right on the highway, and she was airlifted to Tampa General Hospital, a level 1 trauma center about 20 mi away. As the helicopter roared into the sky, Bill watched helplessly from the ambulance, tears streaming down his face. He later told a friend, "I felt like my heart was being ripped out. I couldn't do anything but pray." Will and Zoe clung to each other, asking, "Where's Mommy going? Is she going to be okay?" Bill didn't have answers, but he held them close, trying to shield them from the fear that was consuming him. At Tampa General Hospital, Jennifer was rushed into the trauma bay where a team of surgeons, neurologists, and nurses awaited her. The initial assessment was grim. She had sustained a traumatic brain injury with swelling putting dangerous pressure on her skull. Her right leg was shattered, her ribs were fractured, and one had punctured her lung, causing it to collapse. Worst of all, she was bleeding internally from a ruptured spleen. The lead trauma surgeon, Dr. Michael Rivera, later told reporters, "She was in critical condition when she arrived. We had to move fast to save her life." Her leg was stabilized with metal pins, but the focus was on keeping her alive. Meanwhile, Bill arrived at the hospital with Will and Zoe. He was treated for a mild concussion, a sprained wrist, and several lacerations, but he refused to rest. "I need to know about JYN, he told the nurses, his voice breaking. Hours passed with no updates, each minute stretching into an eternity for Bid. Friends and family began to arrive, including Jennifer's parents, who had driven from their home in Orlando, and Bill's sister, who flew in from Texas. They sat together in the waiting room, a somber group holding on to hope. Around midnight, Dr. Rivera finally emerged from the operating room. His face was grave as he approached Bill. "Mr. Clay," the doctor said, "your wife made it through surgery, but she's not out of the woods. Her injuries are severe and she's in a coma. We've done everything we can for now, but the next 24 hours are critical. She's in the ICU, and we'll be monitoring her closely." Bill nodded, his throat too tight to speak. He asked to see her and the doctor agreed, warning him that she wouldn't look like herself. When Bill walked into the ICU, he nearly collapsed. Jennifer lay motionless in the hospital bed, surrounded by beeping monitors and tubes. Her head was bandaged, her face swollen and bruised, and a ventilator breathed for her. "Oh, JYN," Bill whispered, taking her hand. "You've got to fight, honey. We need you." He stayed by her side all night, refusing to leave, even as exhaustion set in. While Bill kept vigil at the hospital, Will and Zoe were taken home by a close family friend, Lisa Carter, who had been a surrogate aunt to the kids for years. Lisa sat them down and explained as gently as she could, "Your mommy got hurt in the accident, and the doctors are helping her. She's sleeping right now so her body can heal." Will, at 12 years old, understood more than Zoe, who was 11. "Is she going to die?" he asked, his voice trembling. Lisa hugged him tightly. "The doctors are doing their best, sweetheart. We're all praying for her." Zoe, confused and scared, kept asking, "When can we see Mommy?" Lisa promised that they could visit soon, but for now, she tried to keep them distracted with games and movies. The kids were resilient, but the uncertainty weighed heavily on them. They clung to their stuffed animals, Will's panda and Zoe's elephant gifts from their adoption days that brought them comfort. Word of the accident spread quickly and the street Petersburg community sprang into action. Neighbors dropped off castles and lasagna. A local church organized a prayer vigil and a GoFundMe page titled Support for Jennifer Arnold's recovery was launched by a family friend. Within 24 hours, it had raised over $50,000 with donations pouring in from fans of the little couple worldwide. Messages of support flooded social media with hashtags like Pray for Jennifer and Stay Strong Bill trending on Twitter. One fan wrote, Jennifer and Bill have been an inspiration to me for years. I'm praying for her recovery every day. Another said, Jen's a fighter. She beat cancer and she'll beat this, too. Sending love. From Ohio. The family released a brief statement through a spokesperson. We are overwhelmed by the love and support from everyone. Please keep Jennifer in your prayers and thank you for respecting our privacy during this difficult time. As Jennifer fought for her life, authorities began investigating the cause of the accident. The truck driver, a 42-year-old man named Robert Hayes, was detained at the scene. Hayes told police that his brakes have failed, causing him to lose control. However, witnesses contradicted his story, noting his erratic driving before the crash. A preliminary police report indicated that Hayes' phone was found active at the time of the accident, suggesting he may have been texting, a violation of Florida's hands-free driving law. The trucking company Apex Logistics issued a statement saying, We are cooperating fully with the investigation and extend our sympathies to the Klein Arnold family. But Bill wasn't satisfied. He hired a prominent Tampa attorney, Jessica Monroe, to look into legal action. I want answers, Bill told a friend. If this was preventable, someone needs to be held accountable. Monroe began gathering evidence, including dashcam footage from nearby vehicles and Hayes' driving records, which revealed prior citations for speeding. The potential lawsuit could seek millions in damages to cover Jennifer's medical bills, which were already climbing into the hundreds of thousands, as well as compensation for pain and suffering. Experts speculated that if negligence was proven, whether by Hayes or Apex Logistics, the case could lead to significant changes in trucking regulations. For Bill, though, it wasn't just about money. I want justice for JYN. He said she didn't deserve this. Back at the hospital, Jennifer's condition remained precarious. The first 48 hours were a roller coaster. Brain swelling decreased slightly, a small victory, but she developed a fever, raising fears of infection. On day 3, she suffered a seizure, a terrifying setback that required emergency intervention. Dr. Rivera explained to Bill, her brain is still recovering from the trauma. These complications are serious, but we're doing everything we can. Bill barely left her side, sleeping in a chair next to her bed when exhaustion overtook him. He talked to her constantly, recounting memories from their 17 years of marriage. Remember our honeymoon in Italy? He'd say, you loved that little cafe in Florence. We got to go back there, JYN. Friends say he believed she could hear him, and it kept him going. On day 5, a miracle happened. Jennifer's fingers twitched in Bill's hand, a tiny movement, but enough to send him sobbing with relief. Nurses rushed in and tests confirmed she was responding to stimuli. The doctors decided to slowly wean her off the coma-inducing drugs, a risky move, but one they hoped would bring her back. 2 days later on July 27th, Jennifer opened her eyes. Bill was there, of course. Jen, it's me, he said, tears streaming down his face. She couldn't speak with the ventilator tube in, but her eyes locked onto his, and she squeezed his hand weakly. It was a moment of hope amidst the darkness, but the doctors were clear. Her recovery was far from over. After 3 weeks in the ICU, Jennifer was stable enough to be moved to a rehabilitation facility, Brooks Rehabilitation, in Jacksonville, Florida. The move was bittersweet progress, yes, but a sign of the long journey ahead. She was off the ventilator but still weak, unable to speak clearly or move her right side due to nerve damage from the brain injury. Her leg remained in a cast and she faced months of physical and occupational therapy. Bill rented an apartment near the facility and Will and Zoe joined him on weekends. Their first visit was emotional. Zoe ran to Jennifer's bedside crying, Mommy, I missed you. Jennifer Her voice raspy, managed to say, "I love you, baby." "We'll hun back," unsure. But Jennifer reached for him. "I'm okay, buddy," she whispered. "We're going to be okay." Therapy was grueling. Jennifer worked with a team of specialists to regain basic functions. Her first goal was sitting up without help, a task that took 2 weeks and left her exhausted. Walking was even harder. "I feel like I'm starting over," she told her physical therapist, Sarah and Guyan. Sarah,